So I'm tired of seeing dreams dying, and I'm tired of seeing people who want to be musicians just not and live mediocre lives because they don't know how, because they don't want to go to school for it. So I'm literally about to show you my honest plan to blow up as a musician, to become really hot and sexy and rich and famous and humble and a sick indie musician without going to school. So this is my very professional Microsoft Word document where I'm going to show you my big master evil plan. So the first thing, because I'm a huge believer in the 80-20 rule of 80% of your results coming from the 20% of the things you're doing, mastering the fundamentals is absolutely huge, because if you're not going to music school, you have to learn music somehow. I'm popping these bitches out. I do not need earbuds right now. If you're not going to music school, you need to learn the basics of what they're teaching there and the basics of what you need to know going into whichever side of music you want to go into. I want to go into songwriting and producing. If you were going to be focused more on performance versus more on something else, use common sense. But I figure most of you watching this video are also going to want to be into the producing and songwriting side of this. So the very first thing is mastering the fundamentals. So this is going over stuff that I don't know. As a little bit of background, I have some, I'm a self-taught guitarist, and I play guitar for like 5 years or so. So I already know some basics with that. So that's not included as much in here, but I still have a little bit. So piano is one of the first things that I wanted to learn, because music theory and piano go together so well. If you're trying to learn music theory without knowing piano, it can be a little bit more difficult, just because piano is like, you can visually see all of the notes in front of you, and it makes learning and understanding music theory a lot easier. So for the past month, in December, I've been learning how to play piano, just the basics. I've also been going through Michael New's basic theory course, which is where he's teaching theory on a piano, and I've kind of been following along. And I've gone through all, I think 13 of those videos that are on his page. Check out Michael New, because he's great for, I'm not sponsored or know him or anything. It's literally just what I use. He explains it really well and simply in a way that I could never explain music theory. He's big brain for that. Next, rather than focusing on how to play piano, I would focus specifically on music theory. I'm going to go onto musictheory.com, which is free and also sick for explaining the basics of how music works, and make flashcards, study the hell out of that. After that, go into vocals. I've already learned some vocals, so I took a 30-day singer course. It's literally called 30-Day Singer. I researched it, and it was one of the best cheap courses online for singing. On top of that, I'm going to try and find a vocal course here in North Carolina, a vocal coach here in North Carolina that I can rock with for at least like a month or so, just so they can be like, this is bad technique, this is better technique. I think having a coach for some things will be super, super helpful, especially vocals, because it just feels so out there for me. Like, it has not come naturally to me. Next, I'm going to review what I know on guitar. I need to work mostly on writing solos. So I know basic chords, I know how to be a backing guitarist, but solo writing is one of my weak points. So I'm going to focus on writing solos. Whatever specific things you want to work on with guitar, insert that here. I'm going to read the book Fretboard Theory by Desi Cerna, because it's basically music theory attached to how a fretboard works. So how to understand the guitar fretboard a lot better and just use it. Become an ethereal guitarist, right? You're not just using it as an instrument. You are the instrument. That's the goal, is to get to that point. And then go through any guitar lessons that I haven't learned already. So that was my main way of teaching myself as a self-taught guitarist, is going through Justin Guitar and just going through every lesson, learning absolutely everything I could. And then practicing songs that I like, because you have to actually practice the things that you like, or else you're not going to be motivated to want to keep practicing that instrument. Next, I'm going to focus on songwriting, because songwriting is a skill on its own. People dedicate their whole lives to it, and still, like, it's huge. So I've already read a few books on songwriting. My goal is to read 3 more. And I'm going to give you my book list in just a second. And then write 20 songs. Each of these also will come at its own pace. These are supposed to be one after the other. Piano, I know I'm finishing this month. After that, music theory, I'm probably going to take half a month. Each of these are just kind of however long it takes for me to get the basics of these, but like learning an instrument I've never played before is going to take longer than things that I'm just reviewing. So some of these are going to take a little bit longer than others. My goal is to be through all of this within about 6 months. So just knuckling down and really teaching myself everything I need to learn within 6 months, so by next May. Songwriting, reading those books, also gonna write 20 songs. They don't have to be good songs, they just have to be written. And just basically making sure that I'm actually applying what I learn. So far, everything, so music, guitar, and also songwriting. Next, performance. I want to take the Usher Masterclass on performance. I want to practice with open mics here in Salisbury, where I have nothing to lose because nobody lives in Salisbury. There's also like a very, very small music scene here, so like not a whole lot of people are around, and embarrassing myself in front of these people is not going to mean anything. Not that embarrassing myself in front of anyone else would mean anything either, but even less of an obstacle. After that, I'm going to focus on production. I just bought some courses from Udemy. Hold up. I'm literally going to show you which courses. Is it here? Yeah. So on Udemy, these are the courses that I just bought that I'm going to go through for production. So there is a mastering masterclass, a programming class, there's a mixing class, and then the Sound Kitchen, which was really highly rated, and I think it's basically about how sound works throughout space and also in a DAW, which is sick. Digital audio workspace, for those who don't know what a DAW is. Those are the classes that I'm going to be focusing on. I'm also going to review an Ableton Live class that I took a little while ago because that's what I produce on. I'm going to also take some time to study the artists that I like. So I love Wallows, Miniature Tigers, Alex G, Clairo, people like that in the indie pop scene. So focusing on the songs that I really like by them and breaking them apart, understanding what makes these songs so good is going to be huge. Like that's one of the best ways to learn how to write the kind of music you want to write is by studying the songs that you like, breaking them apart to their elements and figuring out this is how I make this intro sound really cool is because his drum beat comes in on 4, not on 1. Or the vocals are doing this really cool harmony thing. What harmony is that? Let me figure that out. Another thing, really quick, ear training, train your ear. So during my music theory learning, I'm also gonna be doing ear training because that's super helpful when you're picking apart songs like that. After that, music mindset. So I'm going to review and look back over this book, The Music Lesson, Ba-Bam, by Victor Wooten, because it is absolutely sick for teaching you basically how to think about music, how to experience music rather than just playing it. Like I said, becoming something like getting so into music and into the groove that it feels like it's an experience rather than you playing something. Like it's a whole ass experience. There's some spirituality behind it. There's some music lessons in that book, quite literally the music lesson. It's also just a fun read. So that gives you a great way to think about music. And it also teaches you the things to pay attention to rather than just theory and the notes, because that's what a lot of people focus on, is just what notes do I play here that sound good. There's a lot of other stuff that goes into it too, like spacing, like feel, groove, all kinds of stuff. And that book is really good for teaching you that. So next I'm going to focus on music marketing. So I already kind of know somewhat how to market music because that was my degree. I was a marketing major in college. And I understand the basics of it. But what I would do if I were you, and also what I'm gonna do, because I just need to review. I'm 4 months out of college, man, I don't know, shit. Basically, I'm going to look at the best marketing campaigns that I've seen for music that I like. So in my genre, I'm going to look at who markets their stuff really well, who is really appealing to me and to other people who also like this music. And I'm going to take apart what makes their ads so good, what makes their posts on TikTok, on Instagram so appealing. Why do I actually like them? I'm going to follow these artists, keep up with them. I already follow a lot of them, but if you aren't already following the artist, my nose was really itchy, sorry. If you aren't already following the artists that you like and that you think have really cool graphics on social media, do that, because you're going to figure out who makes their graphics. You're going to figure out how they make their graphics, what they do to tailor it to be towards the audience that they want. So even having like a collage of these different people, you're going to see what things they have in common that all attract you to their page, which is a really sick thing to figure out. Next, I'm going to read 2 Seth Godin books just because I have to read Seth Godin. He's a marketing freaking genius, and picking up his mindsets towards marketing is going to be huge. I'm also planning on taking this music marketing course by Indie Pro, and looking at the 2024 guides that Damian Keys is going to come out with, I assume, for TikTok and Instagram, because Damian Keys is on his shit every year. He's creating really good guides on how to use social media as a musician. And I just really like his stuff. I'm not sponsored or paid by him. He's just who I go to for that kind of thing. Next, I'm going to reread this freaking huge ass book, How to Make It in the New Music Business by Ari Herstand. Ari Herstand is a music blogger. He's also a musician, but he blogs about music business and all kinds of great stuff. He compiled a lot of his blog posts and just learning lessons about music business into that huge ass Bible that I just showed you. And it's really, really good for figuring out how the music industry works, basics of music industry, how you actually get paid to, how you get paid for making music, how to actually put your music up on places, what a distributor is, how to make money doing different things, whether it's performing like busking, or whether it's just you putting up stuff, like putting things up online. It gives you basically a whole plan of how to structure your life in a way that is conducive to making money with music. And it also shows you how, like, the intricacies of making money with music, of blowing up, of using, it's good, man. It's good. Read that book. And also look at his blog, because his blog probably has updated stuff all the time. Next, my plan is to fill out my library, put everything I just learned, put it to use. And this is probably towards the end of this 6-month period, so towards May. In May, I'm planning on moving to Nashville or somewhere. That's literally step 3, build a name. Move to a city with greater opportunity. But during this, I'm going to be writing 80 more songs, hopefully, so 100 total, just because it's a nice round number and it feels good to me. But it's arbitrary, so it doesn't have to be 100. I might change that. But basically, I want to write enough songs that I have a whole library that I can think, I want to produce this one, I want to produce this one, I want to produce this one, because I think that they have great potential, and I've written a bunch of shit songs, so I can write good songs. That's a lot of songwriting, is getting through the bad, because you're going to write bad songs. It happens to the best songwriters. You're going to write the worst song ever, because that's just how you start out. You got to start writing the bad ones before you get to the good ones. So write a bunch of songs and then produce 4 singles and 1 album or EP. And then use what I just learned with marketing to market those. Step 3, build a name. Basically perform here a little bit until I'm moving out, because I'm planning on moving to Nashville, which is the most likely, or somewhere else with great opportunity. I really liked Portland when I went. I'm not sure how great their music scene is. I hear pretty good though. But maybe Portland, maybe Raleigh, New York. But right now I've got tentative, soft plans with one of my boys to move to Nashville. So we'll see how that works out. Now I'm going to go over kind of some of the books and courses that I think are going to be freaking mind-blowing for you. Okay, first one's ones that I've read. How to Make It in the New Music Business. I've already kind of explained that one. The Music Lesson by Victor Wooten. I've already explained that one. I've also read Writing Better Lyrics by Pat Pattinson. So this book is God mode when it comes to writing lyrics. So everything in here is, it makes you think that lyric writing is, it opens your eyes to see that lyric writing is way more of a huge thing than you thought it was to begin with. So you actually see that lyric writing, like every little part of a lyric, every little section of it, every word that you use, every way that you pronounce a word has to do with how your song sounds. It's called prosody. So you want everything in your song to be lining up with the meaning that your song has. So if your song is sad in one moment, you want the chorus to sound sad. You also want the lyrics to reflect that. You also want the way that you say the lyrics to reflect that, the cadence, the meter, the pronunciation, the rhyme scheme. You want the rhyme scheme to line up with a way that's either really structured and feels stable, or you want it to be unstructured and feel unstable, depending on what you want your song to feel like. And Writing Better Lyrics gives you the tools. It shows you what you can do to actually make your songs sound the way that you want them to, lyric-wise. Mind-blowing stuff. This one, How Not to Write a Hit Song, 101 Common Mistakes If You Want to Avoid a Song, If You Want Songwriting Success by Brian Oliver. Bada bing, bada boom. That one is basically, it was an alright book. I won't say it's the best book that I've ever read, but it was pretty alright. It shows you how to avoid some basic songwriting mistakes. It gives you the basics of how to write a song. It doesn't go too much into theory. It goes more so like songwriting practice. Things you can do to, like in your songwriting practice to write better songs. Like don't make it too complicated. Don't make sections too long or too short. This is what to do if all your songs sound the same. That kind of stuff. Basically, it gives you a blueprint to write better songs by showing you the mistakes that other people make all the time and how to have your songs not sound amateur. Last one that I've read that is kind of music-y is The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. This one, I read this a long time ago, man, like 3 years ago, but still a sick book. Very, very sick. And it's what inspired me to take music seriously, because this is all about just taking art seriously. So huge message of this is there's resistance in your everyday life to doing the things that you want to do. And it talks about how you overcome this resistance, how to structure your life and live and have the mindsets to overcome daily the short-term thinking that your mind is used to. It's great for figuring out how to delay gratification. So how to make your life better by sacrificing the short term for the long term. And it also shows you ways to think about your art. You have to actually take it seriously like it's your job, because it literally is. You have to wake up for it. You can't just take off one day because you feel like it. You have to actually put in the time and effort like it's something you're serious about, because you are. Those are some of the huge things I've learned. There's a lot more in here about all kinds of stuff that's really good for your mindset of getting creativity consistently. That's a good way to put it. Okay. Fretboard theory, I already kind of went over. You know what? I'm not going to go over all these. You can look these up if you want to. These are all of the books that I have figured out are pretty sick and things that I'm going to want to read as a musician, someone focusing on songwriting and producing. I'd say these are probably also ones that you want to look into too. Just look these up if the titles sound interesting to you or like things that you'd want. Right. Here's all the books that I have not gone over. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, dude. That's how I'm gonna become a freaking sick musician. So steal that. Become my competition. Nah, but I hope that you use that and actually achieve the shit that you want out of life and get the music career that you're looking for without dropping thousands of dollars and lots of time on music school, especially a music school that isn't contemporary music and is teaching you stuff that you don't need to know. Raw opinion, I know, unfiltered, but that's where we're at right now. Anyway, kill it. Kill it, homies. That's my sign off now. I think that's a little bit better than whatever shit I've been using. Act now, become unstoppable.